right, let's go ahead and continue on. We're going to talk about our greatest needs page and our take action page. So let's start with the greatest needs page. I personally think this is one of the most important pages on your website. Okay, you are going to research your people groups' greatest needs. What do they actually need? You're going to want to focus on physical needs. So you're going to want to try and find at least 7 physical needs. Now you're going to list those needs, but you're also going to describe them. Okay, so don't just say they need mats to sleep on. Okay, why? Tell me about that a little bit more. What is so important about a mat to sleep on? Okay, then you're going to think about their emotional needs. Okay, I don't have a minimum requirement on this, but what are some emotional needs that your people group faces? Okay, what do they need emotionally, and discuss how those needs can be addressed. Now, to be honest, when you're thinking about your role in this and what you can actually do to meet some of these needs, this one's going to be a harder one to meet. Okay, remember that one of the things that I said was no, therapy sessions. So just be careful. Don't focus quite as heavily on those. Think more about the physical, and then think about, are there any needs that are specific to your location? Okay, again, I gave this example a while ago, but are the needs for the homeless people in Chicago different than those in LA? Yeah, they are. So talk about that a little bit. On this page, all your information should be cited parenthetically because, again, you're getting it from different places. Like I said, I think this page is one of the most important pages on your website because it's going to help you think through how you are going to address these needs, right? So you have to be aware of the need before you can come up with a plan to address the needs of a group of people. So this is a very, very important page. Just as a list of reminders, I'm going to go back. Remember, we're looking at the greatest needs, and then you're probably going to be picking some of these needs or one or two of these needs to address in your proposal paper and your presentation as your idea for your nonprofit. Okay, so while you're doing this page and you're thinking kind of ahead a little bit, let me remind you of a list of things that you should not do. Okay, you cannot have your idea for your nonprofit be merely an awareness campaign. Okay, it is okay to have awareness as part of your plan, as part of your nonprofit. I think every nonprofit has that as part of their nonprofit. But you can't just say, well, the goal of my nonprofit is to spread awareness. No, you have to actually go back and take a look at that greatest needs page and try to meet at least one of those physical or emotional or maybe even financial needs. Again, you cannot have your entire nonprofit surrounded around the idea of therapy. Okay, remember that you guys are 17 or 18-year-old students, and this is supposed to be fairly realistic. What can you actually do? Well, you're not qualified to be a therapist, and you can't expect to get a therapist to work for free. So that idea is just really, really hard to work with. Okay, and then finally, you can't have your idea as just simply buying a warehouse or property, like, oh, homeless people, their greatest need is, shelter. So I'm going to open up a shelter. Again, you're 17 or 18 years old, and you can't, it's crazy how much money that would cost. Okay. Instead, again, pull from your greatest needs page. Identify a need that you can meet and figure out a creative way to meet that need. Okay. So that's your greatest needs page. The other page I want to talk about real quick is your take action page. This is a list of at least 3 practical things that your audience can do to help bring justice to your people. Please don't be vague in your 3 practical things. Spread awareness is not sufficient as a take action, okay? Yes, that is something that you probably would want your audience to do. However, just saying spread awareness is not going to cut it. Okay, actually tell them how they can spread awareness. You can direct them back to your social media page. You can say, well, these are the different ways that you can get involved. Okay, so again, please don't be vague and just say, well, tell other people about the problem. No, how? Okay, be specific. Another thing you need to include on your take action page is at least 2 groups or organizations or individuals that are already doing something noteworthy to help the cause. Okay, remember, nonprofits, although they, in some ways, yes, they are competing for donations, nonprofits more often than not actually work together. because their goal is not profit. Their goal is to help ease the burden of a marginalized group of people. So it's not like you're advertising for another company here. You're just acknowledging, hey, there are some other people out there. There are some other groups and organizations out there that are already doing some really cool things. Okay, so you want to be specific. What are they doing for that group of people? And actually provide a link to their website or a video that describes them. Okay, so actually provide like detailed information there. A link would be fine, or video. Okay. Then in your take action page, okay, think about what would be your immediate plan for your nonprofit. What is your group going to do to ease the situation? It can still be fairly vague at this point. I do want you to describe as best as you can, but if your plan is not totally thought through or not totally filled in with all the details at this point, it's okay. But just know after spring break, that's when we work on our proposal paper. And that at that point, you're going to have the details, or you're going to need the details to be kind of more fleshed out. Okay? Everything on this page should be cited parenthetically as well. While we're here, we might as well just finish this up. Let's talk about the sources page. Your sources page should be in MLA format, but here's the thing, because Weebly doesn't really do hanging indents, they are not required. If you can figure out how to do hanging indents on Weebly, go for it. I have not been able to figure it out, so although I do want MLA formatted citations, hanging indents are not required. I will repost or I will have available, your citation template for your citations so that you can kind of follow those, okay? If you use the source itself in your work, it must be included on the sources page, okay? So if you reference any information from any source, it has to be on the sources page. If you do not reference the source in your work, do not include it on the sources page. So don't just put 12 sources on your sources page, even though you only use 7 of them, okay? The minimum requirement of sources used must be at least 5 sources, and 2 of those sources must be database sources, okay? And those actually have to be used in your website and then cited in your sources page. I will be checking to see that the sources you cite on your website actually match the sources you have listed on your sources page. Okay? That's pretty much it. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, reach out to me. I'd be happy to help you.